I don't know. I only know that if you don't engage, then you're not, for sure you're not going to be able to vote for somebody who you think is going to provide the kind of leadership that's necessary. And what you're looking for, really, ultimately, I think, is character. That's what you're really looking for. You're looking for character. Whatever the position is that a person takes on an issue, it could be a more conservative position, it could be a more liberal position. But whatever the position they're taking, I think that you could judge the character of people. And again, it's not a perfect exercise, so you may be wrong. But unless you engage in that process, then you have no criteria in order to make a decision. So that's really what it comes down to. There's a certain amount of heavy lifting and seriousness that's involved in participating in the democratic process. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Voters should not be lazy. And if voters are going to be lazy, well, then, you're going to get the product of that laziness.
And in English, that means you get the government you deserve.
And in all of my years, Nick, and I've done, a fair amount of traveling right around the world. And I could tell you, I have never I've never been in a place that didn't have a government that, by and large, reflected the values of the society, the people that were in that place. So if you had a country, if you had a place that was where people didn't care and there was a lot of cheating and corruption, et cetera, then you could pretty much rest assured that the government was going to reflect those values and that you'd have a government that was, ripe with cheating and corruption.
Joseph, let me interrupt you for just a minute.
Yeah.
Give me the phone number for people to call in again.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's toll-free anywhere in North America. It's 855-346-1020. There you go.
So it's 855-346-1020.
That's correct. 855-346-1020.
All right. Now, I guess, the question becomes, what do you do with this frustration? And how do you deal with it? Well, you've got several ways of dealing with it. One, you can stick your head under a rock or go split a cord of wood or whatever you want to do. Or you can dig in and help. You can find somebody you believe in and pitch in on their campaign. The trouble, though, is that you mentioned character. Well, in a 6-week campaign, it's not exactly easy because anybody can hold their breath for 6 weeks in a political campaign and say what they think you want to hear. We've seen it over and over again. Patrick Brown, Doug Ford. I'm just picking Justin Trudeau. Any politician I can think of in the last 5 or 10 years has done that repeatedly, where they'll say one thing to get elected, and as soon as they're in office, the horse changes color. And I just, I can understand the cynicism of certain people when they say, so somebody gets up and says, man, I'm all about transparency. I'm all about accountability. I want to cut taxes. I want to. Elect me and I'll do these things. And people in the audience sit there and go, where have I heard this song before? So it's, I can understand that cynicism. Now, that's no excuse. You have to get to know people. And this is why I think that if you look around and you don't see anybody you can trust running, get off your butt and run.
Well, that was what I was going to say also, is that, in the final analysis, if you can't support anybody because you just don't think that they have the character and the values that you believe are necessary for government in this country, then for pity's sake, run yourself. Run as an independent. Have your say. You may not succeed, but you don't know for sure. I mean, this country elects independent MPs. granted, it's rare, but we do. And if you're not elected, at least you're out there participating in the debate, fighting the good fight. And, the more people that are out there saying these things in a sensible, reasonable fashion, respectful fashion, that are fighting for those values, there are people out there that are going to listen. And
well,
ultimately, Nick, as we've pointed out before, when it comes to democratic values in countries, right? What did Alan Bloom say? I mean, it's right up on the Think Radio website, right? The most successful tyranny is not the one that uses force to assure conformity. It's the one that removes the awareness of other possibilities. So,
yeah.
And how does that happen? That happens when good citizens basically throw in the towel and say, I can't take it anymore. I can't find somebody who's going to represent my values, and therefore I'm going to abandon the process.
Well, the other side of that coin, to add to that, I don't want to say the other side of the coin, but that's not what I'm after. To add to that argument is the fact that even if you're unsuccessful, if you stand up and run and you're honest and you're sincere, people, especially with someone who's brand new, who they happen to know, they come from their community, they already have a certain amount of credibility because of the neighborhood they're in. Like if I were to run here in Renfrew County, there's a certain number of people who know me. Now, that may be good or bad, but that's the fact. So they already know that, A, I live here, B, I'm concerned about things, and C, I mean what I say, even if they don't disagree with it. So what that means is that if you're unsuccessful this time, maybe the person you were running against last time, let's take my MP, Cheryl Gallant. If Cheryl Gallant were to stand down, it opens the door to all kinds of other conservatives who maybe ran before with no luck, and now all of a sudden there's an opening and an opportunity, and people already know them, so they could step in and take a good shot at it and have a decent chance of winning.
Okay, we're just running a little bit over time. We're going to go for a quick break, and we got a couple of calls here on hold, so stay with us. Keep on holding and be patient. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll get to them when we get back. So you're listening to the Nick and Joe Show on the Think Radio Broadcast Network. I'm Joe, he's Nick, and this is the home stretch of tonight's show, August the 18th, 2021. And boy, time is flying. And I'm just going to get over the housekeeping stuff right away really quickly. If you want to call into the show in the last half hour, you can do so toll-free anywhere in North America. The number to call is 855-346-1020. The number again, 855-346-1020. If you want to participate in our chat and you're on the nickandjoeshow.com page, click on the chat bubble. You may have to register or log in, one or the other, or both. That's to ensure that you are a real flesh and blood human being. That's if you're listening online. If you're listening on Facebook, you can also, or the nickandjoeshow.com, you can also connect with us by clicking on the link that we provide and using your computer audio. But I have to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you do that, when you connect with us, you have to hit the pause button on the player because there's a delay and you'll get very confused. You'll continue to hear the show. You'll be hearing the show through the audio connected to the show when you try to connect to us. But you have to hit the pause button on the player, and I would even do that before you hit the link to connect to us, because you'll get very confused. It's like if you were doing it on the radio and calling in, you have to turn the radio down, but you can't just turn the radio down or the sound down on your computer, because then you won't hear us and be able to talk with us, right? So you have to hit the pause button on whatever player you're listening to if you're doing it online. So there's the housekeeping stuff. Listen, going to go to Lyle on line 2. Lyle's been very patient. He's been waiting to speak with us for, I guess, 5-6 minutes? Oh, I could look at this. Oh, 5. Oh, it says, "Come on, you've been on hold with us for 10 minutes, Lyle."
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
Good thing it's toll free.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, thanks for taking my call, Nick and Joe. Yeah, I think you guys are doing a great job so far. I've been listening on the radio for the last, 15, 20 minutes. So I'm sort of watching what's going on with the snap election call. And I saw today via Rebel News that Justin Trudeau made a campaign stop at Cobourg, Ontario, at the Black Cat Cafe, which Black Cat Cafe, it's kind of funny. It's called that, and he made a stop there. Bad luck and everything, right? So he was scheduled to be there at like 5:45 yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever, and he ended up coming at like 8:30, and he only spent about 10-15 minutes there, getting everybody to cheer for him, and he didn't even answer questions from the media. And I kind of really didn't like that, because, I mean, if you can't ask questions to the people that are leading your country, like, why are they there? And also, I just wanted to point that out. And also, Derek Sloan has been making the rounds around social media as well. And also, I'm wondering, I know the snap election was called, and but he basically formed his True North Party, kind of like right before that happened. And I'm wondering, how do you feel like an independent person running for Prime Minister of Canada can make up ground when they just started a political party, a federal political party, and yet there was just this snap election call and only basically a month to, make the rounds and get people to, vote for you?
Well, those are good questions, Lyle. And first of all, thanks for calling. And the first thing I think I have to point out to you is that, regrettably, the True North Party has not been officially registered as a political party. So my understanding is that they've submitted all of their registration papers, but there is a vetting process that goes on. Part of the thing is the process of registering a political party is that you have to submit a certain minimum number of signatures with a petition. And I don't know what it is federally. I'm going to say it's 1,000. It may be more than that. But what ends up happening is you submit this, and then they actually call, not everybody, but they call a certain number of people to ensure that, in fact, those people did, in fact, sign a petition for real, and it wasn't just somebody filling in their names. So there are hoops to jump through. And as of right now, Derek Sloan is not the leader of any political party. Now, will their registration go through during the writ period? Or, alternatively, are there other ways to register a political party during a writ period? For instance, in Ontario, you have to do the same thing in between elections with filling out an application and having a minimum number of people signing putting in their signatures in a petition. But during the writ period, if you have, I think it's just 2 candidates who would otherwise be independent who agree to run jointly as a party, then the party can be registered that way, and you completely you bypass the whole signature process. Now, that's in Ontario. I don't know if it applies in other provinces, and I don't know if it applies with the federal government. So that's